Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to automatically fill OTP from SMS using the SMS Retriever API in Expo React Native for Android. Now I have already made a video about how to get OTP from SMS using the user consent API. If you haven't watched that video, watch that. Basically in user consent API we don't have to make changes on a backend. Obviously we require backend, so our backend can call the SMS service, whatever SMS service you are using. But in SMS Retriever API we need to make changes on the backend side as well, which I will show you in this particular video. So for backend I am using nodejs. Feel free to use whatever you feel like. And for sending SMS to the user I am using a service called Twilio, because that's what recommended in this particular tutorial from Android. Twilio, the advantage with Twilio is that we don't have to register our credit card or debit card. You just have to normally sign up. You don't have to pay anything. So yeah, that's the advantage. I'll come back to the documentation later on, because there are few other things also which I want to talk about. But for now let's just get started with creating the app. So now, like I told you, I will be writing native code as well. So firstly, go to this particular documentation to create an Expo React Native project. I will be using this blank TypeScript template. Feel free to use any of the other templates as well, because this blank TypeScript template comes with minimum boilerplate code. That's why I like using it. So I'll just copy this particular command for blank TypeScript template. CD to your workspace directory, I have already done it, and just run this particular command. Then it will ask you for your project name. You just have to enter your project name. I will just name it as my app. Okay, and then it will create the project for us. Okay, now I will quickly open our project. So here is my app. Just to quickly let you know, this first which you see, now I have already created this Expo React Native project because I wanted to practice first before recording this video, right? So I will be copying a lot of code from this first project which I have created, so don't get confused. But yeah, I will try to explain as much as I can, so don't worry too much about it. So here you can see it has created, it is still creating our project. All right, the next thing which we have to do is we have to again, this is only for Expo React Native Android, so we'll have to go to this particular documentation because we need to create the Android folder. So here you can select the Android device. Here you select development build. Make sure you have disabled EAS because I want to build it locally. Select your operating system. Now I have already installed Watchman, OpenJDK, Android Studio. If you haven't done already this, you will have to do all this setup. I have already done this as well, this as well. The next thing which I have to do is I have to run this particular command. So I'll just copy it, go to my terminal, I will cd to my app, and I'll run this particular command. So again it will install some dependencies for us, don't worry too much about it. Okay, then to create the Android folder we have to copy this particular command as well. Let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so it is finished. Now I'll run this particular command. So firstly it will ask me for my package name. So yeah, I'll keep it as default for now, but basically you should your package name should be com.yourcompany.name.your-app-name. For now I'll just click on enter and it will create the Android folder for us. Okay, so let it be. So here if you see my project, here you can see it has created this Android folder for me. Now the first thing which there is one more thing. So once this Gradle syncing has finished, it will tell you to select your Android device or Android emulator. I won't do that right now because we haven't written any code. It will just run the default project, which doesn't make any sense to me. Also make sure you run this output on a real device at the very end. Okay, so first let's have a look at the code. Firstly we will have look at the backend code so that you guys can have a better idea of what exactly I'm trying to do. Otherwise again you guys might get confused. So I'll just open new window. Now backend code I have already written and it is in nodejs like I have mentioned. So here you can see I have created a folder called backend. So firstly create package.json file. Here you can see I have created this package.json file, and I have written the start and dev script as well. If you want like hot reloading, hot restart, you can use nodemon as well, but yeah, I have kept things simple. So this is the start and dev for if you run npm run start or npm run dev, your server will start, nodejs server. But again, if you make any code changes, you will have to stop and restart your server. But that's the advantage of using nodemon. But yeah, for now it is fine. And inside dependencies, I have added .env. So all the Twilio API keys, API secret, these are present inside this .env file. Now I am not going to show you my .env file, but I will definitely show you how to get all the API keys and secret which we require from Twilio. So that's why I have installed this .env. Express is used for creating REST APIs, and Twilio for sending and receiving SMS message. So firstly, you will have to create a file called SMS verify.js, and this particular code I have copied it from this documentation. So I'll quickly show you that. But please note that the code which you see on this GitHub repo is out of date. I mean 98% or 99% of the code is valid. I have copied it from the documentation itself, but I will let you know there are few changes also which you have to make. So for now you can just copy paste all this code which you see. So that's what I have done over here. So this remains the same thing. Okay, here is one method just to look up the phone number, whether the phone number is valid or not. Okay, and this will be used over here. So this method gets called when we request for OTP from our front end side. Okay, and the change which you have to make, which is not present inside the GitHub repo, is here make sure you add this .v2 as well. Okay, here also inside request you have to add this .v2 as well. So this will basically send SMS to our device, and also this is used for verification of OTP. Okay, and make sure you add this .v2 as well. This is missing inside GitHub repo because it was using, I think, version 1 or version 0 inside GitHub repo, and I'm not really using this reset. If you want, you can use it. So yeah, that's it for the SMS verify.js. So I'll simply scroll through this in case if you want to copy paste this particular code. Okay, then you have to create, also after you do package.json, make sure you run npm install as well. So this will create this node modules and package log.json file as well. Then coming back to index.js, so here firstly we are requiring this .env. We are also importing Twilio, Express, and this SMS verify.js file as well. Then this is boilerplate code which you have to write whenever you initialize Express, right? So just copy paste this code. Here we create our Twilio client. Now the Twilio client requires this API key. I have defined this all inside this .env file. Now how to obtain this API key and API secret? So for that, obviously you need to register on Twilio. Once you have done that, you can go to this particular URL. Once you go to this particular URL, you will see a button called create API key. Just click on it, give some name. Okay, and the key type you can keep it as standard. Also please note that your Twilio API key is the SID which you see once you create the API key, and not the friendly API key name. And don't get confused between Twilio account SID and verification service SID. So what I basically mean is, so here I have created one screenshot as well. So once you create an API key, you will see something like this. This SID which you see is your Twilio API key. Don't get confused with this friendly name. This is pretty much useless, only for your understanding. Okay, so this SID is your Twilio API key, and this secret is this Twilio API secret. So you need to put it over here, both these two. Then for Twilio account SID, you can go to this particular URL and it will tell you how to get the account SID. I have created a screenshot for that as well. So here you can see this is our account SID. Again, the thing which I have blurred with the green marker is your account SID. You can just copy paste it over here. Okay, then here I have created one API endpoint for requesting OTP. So you will need to send a phone number. From that I am extracting the country code, and here is our SMS verify method. So here we are first passing Twilio client. Now this thing which you see is our app hash. Now I haven't told you how to get the app hash yet, so keep this blank for now, keep it as empty string for now. Later on once we create our Expo app, I will tell you how to get the app hash. This is verification service SID. To get that, you can go to this particular URL, and if I show you guys the screenshot, this is how it looks like. So I had two verification service SID. I don't know why. If you don't see anyone, you can just click on create new, just copy it and paste it over. Sorry, you need to paste it over here, and this is our country code. Okay, and here we are just calling the request method which I have defined it inside SMS verify.js. passing our phone number, and I'm not really waiting for it. I'm immediately sending the message back. If you want, you can wait for it as well. And this API endpoint is for verifying our OTP, so I'm passing phone number as well as the message. Here is our country code again. This is our Twilio client. Again, I haven't told you how to get the app hash, so keep it as empty string for now. This is our verification services ID, and this is our country code. And here we just call this verify method, so I'm passing our phone number, this message. Again, here we won't be passing the entire message, we will be only passing the OTP. I have named it very badly. Hopefully you can make that change on your own. And if it is successful, then I'm sending this message back. If there is any error, I'm sending this message back. And here you can see we are listening on port 3000 and starting our server. So I'll simply scroll through this in case if you have missed anything. So you can pause the video wherever you feel like and just copy paste all the code. So yeah, that's it from the backend side. Now we will go to our Expo app. So the next thing which we have to do is so here if you see, I show you my terminal. Here, okay, it has started already running my app. I don't want to run it. I will just do Control-C. Okay, and what is the next step? We have to create a module, right? Because we need to write native code. So I'll just open this inside a new terminal. So here firstly you will have to copy this. Again, this is only for Android, so we don't need to run this particular thing. This is for iOS. So again, it will ask you for your module name. I'll keep everything as default and I'll just click on enter. Okay, and it will create a module for us. Okay, now I will be copying a lot of code, but I'll explain it to you as we go along. So here is our app.tsx, so I'll just open that. First I'll copy all the code. This is my app.tsx for new project, and then I'll explain it to you. Okay, I'll just copy everything. These are all the imports. Okay, inside use effect. All right, and this is our entire return statement, which I will copy as well. Okay, so yeah, this is all the code we require. So I'll just quickly explain it to you. Firstly, you can copy all these imports. We need to define these three methods on the native side, which I will show you shortly. So here I have taken two state because we will be using two text input, right? One for phone number and one for OTP. So here you can see one I have created for phone number and one for OTP. Then here I have created this use effect. So we need to get the app hash because the backend requires the app hash. Now we won't be sending the app hash from our front end to backend. We will be hard coding that app hash as soon as we get it, because the app hash will be constant and you should delete the app hash code as soon as you get the app hash. That's the recommended thing. I'll talk more about app hash later on in this video. Here we get the phone number. Now I'm not asking the user to manually enter the phone number. Obviously the user can enter manually the phone number, but with the help of SMS Retriever API we can also show a modal pop-up which will display all the phone numbers which the user has. Like suppose if he has multiple SIM cards, we will show all the phone numbers. The user can immediately pick a phone number. It will be populated inside our text input. That's the recommended approach, but obviously you can ask the user to manually type it out, so it's up to you. Then here is our listener. So whenever we are sending some data from our native module to React Native side, we will be sending this OTP. If it is OTP, then I'm just setting it to set OTP. If there is phone number, then I'm setting it to set phone number. If there is app hash, I'm just doing console log. Again, I'm repeating, once we get the app hash, you need to delete all the code related to app hash. Don't keep it in your code base on the front end side. You need to hard code it on your back end side. So this is how you will get the app hash. And once you run it for the very first time, you will get the app hash, right? Once I will later on explain you the app hash code. So once you get the app hash, once you run it your application for the very first time, then you will have to go to your nodejs application and make sure you enter your app hash over here. Don't copy my app hash, it won't work for you. As well as you will have to copy it over here. So these two places you will have to copy. Okay, again coming back to our front end code. Yeah, then here as you can see, I have just created one text input, one for phone number, Okay, and here I have kept it as secure text entry because while demoing the output I don't want to show you guys my phone number. That's why I've kept it as secure text entry. Obviously I won't be typing it because there will be a pop-up modal. I will just select my phone number and it will be automatically populated inside this text input. But yeah, if you want, you can type it manually as well. Then here is our touchable opacity button. We need to start this SMS retriever, which I will show you shortly. We need to create this method on the native side because we need to start listening for messages. Okay, and here we call our API. So this is the one of the API for requesting OTP, right? Now be careful, I haven't deployed my nodejs backend on cloud. So here you can see this is my IP address. Change it to your own IP address. This is the port number where nodejs is running, right? And it takes a phone number, so I'm passing our phone number. Okay, and I'm just printing out the response. Okay, similarly this is the text input for OTP. Once I get it, I'm automatically pre-populating it. So again, the OTP we will get it over here, right, from the native side automatically. User does not have to type it. And this is for verifying the OTP. Again, this should be your own IP address. This is our port number. We are calling the verify. We are passing phone number as well as message. Again, the message is actually the OTP, not the entire message. And here is our response. So I'm just printing out the response. Okay, so that's it on React Native side. So firstly, what we will have to do is, if you come over here, we have to define all these three methods, right? Again, I'll simply scroll through this in case if you have missed any code. Pause the video wherever you feel like. Okay. Next we have to define these three methods. So again, I'll just go to my practice project. I can't just do it by myself. So I'll open this index.ts. So here you can see we have defined this method. So what you will have to do, go to modules, index.ts. Okay, and here we will define the three methods. So these are the three methods, right? One for getting phone number, one for getting app hash, and one for starting our retriever. So I'll just copy all these three methods and paste it wherever you feel like. So okay, E is missing. So here you can see I have defined our get phone number. Okay, this is not playing. All right, so here I have defined our get phone number method, get app hash method, and start SMS retriever. So if you see, all these errors are gone. Now we need to define this part, OTP, phone number, as well as app hash for our listener. Now this listeners is automatically defined whenever you create a native module, so we don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, I'll save this. So for that you will have to go to src mymodules.types.ts. so here is our change event payload. Again, I'll just go to my practice project. I'll go to src mymodules.types.ts. okay, and here you can see I have defined the OTP, phone number, and app hash. Okay, I'm using the same event for sending all these three values, but these three values won't be sent simultaneously. They will be sent one by one. That's why they are optional. Otherwise, what you can do is you can define different event handlers. I don't want to get into that because this video is already too big and it would unnecessarily complicate things out. So that's why I have defined OTP, phone number, and app hash we will be getting from native side. So just go over here and replace value with OTP, phone number, and app hash. So here you can see all errors of our app.tsx are gone. So I'll just close this as well. Next we will have to go to the Android folder, go to build.gradle because we have to copy few dependencies. So scroll down here, I will just copy this. Okay, I will go to over here, Android build.gradle. I'll scroll down and I will just paste it over here. Okay, now I will explain it to you. So this two dependencies are for the SMS Retriever API dependencies, and this why I'm using. So basically this data store dependency is only for storing key value data, but later on, like I will just let you know, like we will be creating an Android service class. Now we need to send that data, like we will receive the SMS inside that service class. Now we need to send that SMS data back to our main class, which I will show you shortly. I couldn't find a better way of sending data back, so we will be just basically create a listener for this data store preference, and with that I'm getting that data back. Okay, if you have a better idea, do let me know in the comments. But yeah, in case if you didn't understand what I'm saying, it's fine. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, then we'll have to go to src main. Firstly we'll have to go to android manifest.xml. So again I'll just go to src android manifest.xml, and here we have to first create this application tag. Okay, we also have to add this manifest, this xml, android and xml. So I'll just copy this entire thing and I'll paste it over here. So we need this xml tools and android. Here we create our application tag. Here we register our service. So this is fine, this is boilerplate code for everyone. So I will be creating a service class which will continuously look for messages called my SMS broadcast receiver. That's why I'm using this name over here. If you decide to name it different, you will have to change the name over here as well. So I'll just copy. Okay, anyways, hopefully you got the point. Next we will have to go to Java, Expo, modules, my module. Firstly I'll copy this my SMS broadcast receiver .kt file. So this will look for continuously for messages once you click on verify OTP button, right? So I'll go to Java, and here I'll create a file called my SMS broadcast receiver, and I'll copy everything from the from my practice project. I'll explain it to you in a bit. I'll just close this. So here is our file. So firstly, these are all the imports. You can copy paste all these imports which I have. We are extending a broadcast receiver, so it's basically looking for messages, and here we actually get the action, and from that action we get this intent extras, and from that we get this particular status, and if the status is success, then we get the actual message. And if you see, I'm storing that message inside this particular save SMS message. And if you see over here, we are basically using preferences data store. Now I will be continuously observing this particular key on our main file, this my module.kt file. That's why I was using preferences data store, because we need to send the data from over here to our my module.kt file. And there could be a timeout as well, like 5 minutes, I think. If user does not receive SMS in 5 minutes, you will get a timeout error. Okay, next is the app signature helper.java. So this will get the app hash for us. Okay, so firstly I'll just create this file. Okay, one more thing, I'll just scroll down. One important thing to remember is make sure you have written your right package name for SMS broadcast receiver and app signature helper as well. If you are confused where can I get the package name, just go to my module.kt, and just here you can see package expo.modules.mymodule. Write the same thing over here as well. Okay, so app signature helper, I have just copy pasted this code from documentation. I will show you in a bit, but this will basically help us get the app hash. Again, I'm mentioning you should delete this code as soon as you get the app hash and you have entered it inside your backend. This should not be shipped to production, and you should not calculate this on production on the fly. This is a bad practice, so I'll just paste it over here. So firstly I'll just simply scroll through this. If you want, you can copy the code. Again, make sure you change your package name. I'll simply scroll through this. I mean, you don't need to copy it, it is present in the documentation as well. So here you can see this is the documentation. Now I want to talk about app hash. So I'll just click on this. Okay, why is this not opening? Okay, so here you can see this is how a typical SMS format would look like. So this would be our OTP. Okay, 6-digit OTP. Now along with 6-digit OTP, our message will also contain this gibberish thing. So this gibberish thing is our app hash. Now there are different ways to calculate app hash. So if you see the documentation here, you can see these are the commands. If you are running this command, you don't require this app signature helper. You don't need to call this get app hash, what I have called. Okay, but what I didn't understood is from where do I get this DAR file? I think this is only available once you deploy it to Google Play Store. I could be completely wrong on this. That's why I couldn't figure it out from where do I get this. So here you can see there is alternatively you can get the app hash string with this app signature helper class. So that's why I have used this particular documentation. I have just copy pasted it. Only I have changed the package name. So you can do the same thing. If you are deploying it to Google Play Store, make sure you run this command. It could be very well that your app hash might have changed, then you might face other issues as well. So be careful with that. Hopefully I have tried to explain as much as I can. Again, this is the app hash code, app signature helper.java. Okay, so here is our my module.kt. Now this will contain a lot of code, so I'll just remove the unnecessary files. So I'll just open my practice project as well. Firstly I will copy all the code, and then I will try to explain you guys as much as I can. First I'll copy this imports. This is on create. Just bear with me for a few minutes. I'm just copying all the code. I don't want to copy it like video edit this part, because it might get you might miss out something. That's why I'm just copying it in front of you. And I'll just scroll down here. Is our this, then this is for getting phone number. I'll copy this. Okay, again the indentation is a little bit wrong, so yeah, make sure you have proper indentation if you are one of those who doesn't like improper indentation. Here you can see it has completely messed up my indentation, but here is also our on activity result as well. I'll copy that as well, and I'll paste it over here. And these are the two methods which also we need. Okay, so yeah, I have copied everything. Now let's have a look at the code. So firstly, these are all the imports. I'll simply scroll through this. You can pause the video and copy paste all the imports which I have. Here is our preferences data store object which I have created. Here I'm getting the context as well as the activity. This phone hint request, I will come back to this later on. And inside on create, so here this has been defined inside module definition. So inside on create, as you can see over here, I'm constantly observing for preferences data store, so that when we are saving some data from our SMS broadcast receiver, we will get that OTP, right? We will actually get the entire message, and from that we are extracting the OTP, as you can see over here. I'm sending it back to React Native side. So I'm using the same key which we have defined it inside our TypeScript file. Here I'm just displaying a toast message. It's up to you whether you want to display it or not. This was just part of my debugging. Then over here, if I scroll down, I'll scroll down. So this is start SMS retriever. This method should be called as soon as we call the get OTP method, so that our app starts listening for SMS messages. So here again, this remove this toast message if you don't want it, but basically once you call this will automatically trigger this my SMS broadcast receiver.kt file. Okay, next, for getting the phone number, like I told you, I will display a pop-up model. This SMS Retriever API will automatically display it with the valid phone number of the user, so that the user can pick it. That's what this code is all about. So basically I'm doing that code, and that's why I'm using this phone hint request. So once the user has picked a phone number, so this is the code, right? So till here, right, till here. Next, once the user picks a phone number, the code, the logic comes over here, and we get the phone number, and here you can see I'm sending the phone number back to React Native side. And this is for getting app hash. Like again, I have told you, you should remove the app hash code as soon as you get the app hash. So again, this is the code for app hash. Sorry about the indentation being extremely messy, but yeah, just bear with me. And this is for observing SMS message, and this is for extracting OTP from message. Okay, again I'll just simply scroll at the very top, and I'll show you guys the code, entire code once again. So feel free to pause the video wherever you feel like. So hopefully you got the point. There is one more thing which I want to talk about. Like I told you, our nodejs app is not, my nodejs app is not hosted on any cloud provider, right? It is hosted locally, and we are using our IP address on the front end side to call it. and it is on HTTP, right? So for Android there is one restriction which Android has introduced. So you will have to go to the I'll just open my practice project because we need to copy something inside the Android manifest. So I'll open this. Obviously internet permission is present by default. If it is not, make sure you add it. So what you'll have to do is you have to go to Android app src main android manifest.xml, and here inside the application tag you will have to add this uses clear text traffic equal to true. This is necessary because my backend is hosted locally on HTTP. I'm not using HTTPS. If yours is hosted HTTPS, you don't need to add this particular thing, but make sure you have this internet permission at least. So hopefully that should be it for the code. Okay guys, so here is the output. Now I have blurred the output. I will show you the output in a bit, but here you can see like I'm displaying the model, right, and inside that I have my phone number. That's why I have blurred the output. So from this I will pick my phone number. So I have multiple sims, that's why I will select one of them. If you just have one, you will just see one phone number of your device. I will just select that. Okay, so it has entered inside my text input. And like I told you, I am blurring the text input for my phone number because I don't want to show you guys my phone number. Also here you can see here it has displayed my app hash as well. Make sure you write your app hash over here inside your nodejs as well as over here. Please don't copy my app hash. It will not work for you. Okay, so I have already pasted the app hash. The next thing which I need to do is I will just have to run my backend server as well. So for that I will just cd to my backend nodejs project. I will run npm run dev. Okay, and it will start my server. If you have already started your server before inputting your app hash, make sure you restart your server because I am not using node mod. And okay, what is this? I don't know. So I'll just remove this. And again, this unhandled promise rejection, I don't understand it. I face this in every one of my tutorial. I still don't get it why it is giving. So now I will click on the get OTP button, which will call my nodejs backend, which will call the Twilio service. Also I am starting the SMS retriever, and here you can see I have received the message and the OTP was automatically filled for me. Now if I just look at this console logs, I'll click on verify OTP as well, and here you can see I got the success message. Also if you look inside my OTP, the SMS, it has also sent me this hash or whatever that is inside our SMS, so that it can recognize which is really my app. Again, one thing which I want to tell you, be careful, is that I am sending this OTP, phone number and as well as this app hash in a single event. Typically you should avoid it, otherwise you might get unnecessary crash. So be careful with this. That's why I've added this if check. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.